Okay, hello there, my loves. It's me, it's Jimmy. I wasn't going to be coming on today, but I thought I would just say hello and just a little bit of an update on what's happened to me this week. Because it's been a bit of a shit week, and that's putting it lightly. I'm currently dosed to the eyeballs with painkillers at the moment, opiate-derived ones, which are quite nice to take, as it turns out. So I feel slightly drunk all the time. So I haven't had to drink anything, which is nice. But anyway, why am I taking painkillers, you might ask? It's a mystery. Well, in a way. So I've pulled something in the hip area. It's not the groin. It's definitely the hip area, lower back and upper back. And these things happened almost simultaneously, but very subtly and very slowly. So I was down with Vanessa at her mum's in Brixham, and I think the damage was done sat outside in the sun. I was on this outdoor seat, and for whatever reason, I decided to cross my legs like a pixie, perhaps, on top of a toadstool. I don't know how long I was in that position, but let's just say it probably wasn't the best position for a man of my age with the delicate bone structure that you all know I have. Anyway, when indoors, we had some tea, fish and chips, absolutely delicious, from a local proprietor. Anyway, about an hour later, I felt a bit of discomfort down there below. And it wasn't my penis, for once. No, it was my hip. And so I got up to go to the toilet, and I thought, fucking hell, I can barely walk. So every now and then, this massive jolt of pain was going into my hip, and I was going, ooh, making these kind of noises, because involuntarily, I should add, because it was shockingly painful. Anyway, the night progressed. We drank a fair bit, and we began dancing. As we sometimes do, when we go down to visit Vanessa's mother, and I got up for a bit of body popping, not too strenuous, just a little bit, and it was fine. It wasn't hurting, so this is going to be okay. The next day, it seemed slightly worse, but I thought, after the dancing escapades, perhaps a hearty, bracing walk will solve the problem. As luck would have it, the Paynton, which is another town adjacent to Brixham, just on from Brixham in the Torbay area, they had an air show on. So various military vehicles, helicopters and the like, and some vintage aircraft were cavorting about above the sea, because over in Britain now you're not allowed air shows unless they're over a body of water, because there was an air disaster, I don't know, it was quite a while ago now, perhaps 10 years ago, where this chap tried to do a loop-the-loop and ended up crashing into a car park, which was completely savage. So, yeah, for those reasons, it's always over bodies of water now. So we went there. It wasn't good for my hip. Let's put it that way. We didn't do much walking once we got down there, but what little we did, I had trouble, and I just had to keep sitting down on benches and that. And plus, it was so crowded down there was nowhere to sit, so we had to sit on these lumps of granite. So anyway, I think the combination of the walking, but primarily lounging on the granite blocks for hours, caused even more problems. Come the evening, things were a lot worse, and I couldn't walk up and down stairs. Anyway, I managed to get in my car and drive back to Exeter, 45-minute drive. And remarkably, it wasn't too bad. Luckily, I mean, I wouldn't have got in the car if I couldn't drive. But I was testing the pedals and I thought, yeah, I can do this. Until we got there. Got back to Exeter. I got out of the car and I couldn't walk at all. Well, I was shouting with the pain. Let's put it that way. I got so far, and then Vanessa's like, "Look, I'll take these bags, I'll take all our stuff in, and then you take your time." She went off. I didn't move. I didn't take one more step. I was stuck. I was just stood there because I felt like there was like a knife in each hip, and I thought if I tried to lift my foot a tiny bit, and it was just like the worst pain ever. It was terrible. We didn't know what to do, and there was this big strapping lad that walked past. Well, he was probably in his 30s, I'd say, early 30s. Chap called Joshua, and he helped us out. He went on one side, Vanessa on the other, and together they helped me back like a wounded soldier. And I was grimacing the whole way and occasionally shouting. He looked pretty worried, poor chap. But anyway, shook hands and bade him, said, "Oh, thanks very much." Thought we're home free now. And then I realised I still can't walk, so I had to crawl through each of the rooms to get to the bedroom. By the end, it was like something from a horror film. I couldn't do anything but use because as you know, my wrists are fucked anyway. So I was using my elbows to drag my not inconsiderable weight across various rooms. By the time I levered myself into bed, again, helped with Vanessa's help, and my God, my leg just moved a tiny bit one way, and my God, I screamed. And I would like to say it was like the war cry of a raging Viking, perhaps, but I would say it was several registers higher than that. It didn't do me any good in the man stakes, shall we say, but my God, it scared the shit out of me and Vanessa. I didn't know what the hell was happening, and at the same point, because of this is the next day, I slept okay-ish, but I must have been in a funny position. The next day, a muscle went in my upper back because I must have been in a funny position, and my God, that started spasming. And when I say spasming, I mean the whole slab of muscle was just going like clenching and fucking hurting. So I was going, ugh! And then that was pulling my hip, which was sending like a shotgun of pain. Oh my God, it was just a fucking mess. So yeah, we had to, again, this is the problem of the UK, which has been this way for a while now, but you can't see GPs. You can't see your doctors for love nor money. So we had to call this number. Instead of 999 for emergencies, you dial 111. So anything just short of an emergency, and you call that number. Anyway, I talked to this nice nurse after a couple of hours waiting for a callback, and she didn't really know what it was, other than the fact there was probably something pulled. Anyway, she prescribed me some nice strong painkillers, but it was late by then. So the next morning, Vanessa got them, and I took them. And things started getting better from there. Those things are incredible, by the way. I mean, it certainly wasn't getting rid of all the pain, but the lion's share. And it also made me feel pleasantly off my tits all the fucking time, which is brilliant. And it was making me sleepy, so I was sleeping. So that's a week now. A week's gone by. And each day I've made glacial progress in terms of recovery. It's got to the point now where I can hobble around. So I managed to get in here under my own steam, which I'm really pleased about. Throwing into the mix my boss. So as many of you know, I'm a school driver. I'm a school run driver for a special needs school. And I was supposed to start work on Monday, obviously. And I told him, I texted him, I said, look, you're going to have to look for someone else for this. I don't know what's going on. I've pulled something. I've had a word with the doctor. And he said, mate, there's no cover. You got to come in. Anyway, this was his line 2 or 3 times after I'm saying, I can't even stand up. So I was like, I was really pissed off. I thought, what the hell? On top of all this, so I have had the week off. He's had to find cover anyway. Miraculously, he's managed to find cover. I'm not getting paid for this week. I'm on a 0 hour contract. So if I don't work, I don't get paid. But basically it means that if I don't work, he's got to pay, say, another taxi firm to do it for him, which means he's having to pay through the nose for it. So the fact that I'm not getting paid is nothing to him. He's losing the contract, which is, he's losing what he's having to pay. So he's not making much money. He's probably still making money. So that really pissed me off. Anyway, I talked to the doc. I managed to get through the GP then the next day, and she said this was back on Sunday. No, it was on Monday. She said, "Look, you're not working for a week, at least." And I told her about my boss, and she kind of laughed and said, "Look, it would be dangerous for you to." I thought, yeah, it would be dangerous because I wouldn't be able to drive. Basically, I wouldn't be able to even get to the car, let alone drive it. So anyway, we got to the point now, so it's Friday. As luck would have it, I've got Monday off anyway, because it's a non-pupil day. So I've got until Tuesday to fully recover. As it stands, I think it's going to be fine, because I think I could get away with driving even today, but I'm not going to, obviously. So I've got 3 more days after today to fully recover. The only problem is, of course, that I'm taking these powerful painkillers, which you can't drive on for obvious reasons. So yeah, I'll stop taking those on Sunday and see how I am on Monday, just on paracetamol. I think it will be okay. But that was one thing I really didn't need, that pressure of my boss wanting me to come back to work, despite the fact that I'm like, it was impossible. I haven't had a single day off in a whole year from this job, and I've worked through feeling horrible with, like, I don't know, really bad colds and shit like that. I've always made sure I go to work, but this one time I can't do it, and he's there. Yeah, that really pissed me off. But anyway, there you are. Sorry, there's no one's going to watch all this shit. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling. I just wanted to have a chat, if you will. But I'm okay. Everything's all right now. And I've even started, for the first 4 or 5 days, I just didn't give a fuck about anything. But what was it? Yesterday, I started doing little tiny sketches for prospective painting. So that shows that I'm at least getting slightly back to normal. So yeah, I'm going to do some more painting as soon as I can. But I'm going to take it easy because I think the painting could be part of the problem. I painted so much last month that I think it might have put some stress on the bones already, perhaps. And then when I decided to imitate a pixie for an hour or so outside, it set it off. So I'm going to have to be a bit more careful and see if I can alter the posture. My easel's over here, you can't see it. Yeah, I'm going to have to try and work something out. The other thing that I've been doing with a bit more time is I've just been watching loads of films, for one, because for about 3 days I was just sleeping on the sofa because I couldn't get off the sofa. Once I made it out of the bed to the sofa, that was it then. Done deal. I'm on the sofa now. So it wasn't pleasant. I didn't have a shower for, I don't know how long it was, 5 days maybe. Not pleasant. And I was having to urinate into a plastic milk bottle, and poor Vanessa was having to empty it every time. But oh my god, I was done for. But what I was doing was I'd fall asleep there overnight, but I'd only sleep for about 2 hours before I was woken up with pain again. So then I would kind of get up, put Netflix on and watch a film until I felt tired again, and then go to bed sleep. I really got into that routine. I quite enjoyed that. So I've been working my way back through the first series of One Punch Man, the anime version of the manga. My brother Kirk's really into it. I know he's read all the comics, all the manga, but they've just released the second season, or second series of it. So I thought I'd rewatch the first one. I'm on the second one now. The first series is fucking brilliant. It's so funny. It's so clever. If you don't know anything about One Punch Man, you should check it out. It's on Netflix in the UK at the moment. It's about this man, Saitama, and he trains so hard to be a hero that he becomes bold, but he's like incredibly powerful. And it's about him he's just bored out of his brain because he's never had a fight with someone he can't just kill in one punch. It's quite good, very good, in fact. I also rewatched The Martian, again with Matt Damon. My God, that film. I do enjoy it. The book is way better, but Matt Damon in that film just pisses me off all the time. It's hard to describe. For example, there are scenes where he's talking and eating at the same time made me want to scream, and not just from the pain in my hip. Yeah, so that was really cool. I got into doing that, just sleeping, then watch a bit of film, sleeping. Yeah, there we go. So there's some tips for rehabilitation for you. Some of you, if you're ever bedbound, try that and get a nice 4-pinter milk bottle as well. It's got an agreeable sized hole. Only just got it in though. And it will hold a nice volume of liquid, so you're never in any trouble. Because sometimes I was stuck in positions lying down where I had the bottle almost horizontal because I wouldn't have been able to move any further. And the old Todger wouldn't stretch far enough, let's put it that way. I'm getting into too much detail here. But it's the logistics of things. If you're stuck in certain positions, it makes certain mechanics quite a nightmare. But anyway, yeah, I recommend that. Go for an even bigger bottles if you can. And then, the one last thing I would say, though, is if Vanessa wasn't with me, I probably would have died this week. Or I would have had to have called for an ambulance because I was done. I was at the mercy of nature, really. And at its worst, I think I would have probably had about 3 days of not eating or drinking anything because I wouldn't have been able to move. Although I probably would have had to have just screamed my way into the next room to get some water. Anyway, let's leave it there. Thanks for watching if you have at this point. I hopefully, if all goes well, because I keep doubting myself every day, I think I have made a bit of progress today, haven't I, from yesterday? I'm definitely on a trajectory towards normality, definitely. So hopefully towards the end of this week I'll record a book review because I've been reading a lot as well. So I think I've read about 6 or 7 books since my last book review, so I've got a lot to catch up on. So I might do them in bunches of 2 or 3. Just to get them out of the way. I've read a lot of Drek as well, unfortunately. I need a good book to sink my teeth into. So if anyone's made it this far and you've got a good book recommendation to give it me, and I'll sink my teeth into that soon. Anyway, let's leave it there. Cheers for watching, and as ever, cheerio. Hope you have a nice week. Bye.